in between are facts that could be interpreted in a different way. Anyway, good for
Jenna
D-Wade.
just made up. The rest, everything else were things Jenna just made up.
You gave me a free minute, and I haven't talked much, so I had to go somewhere. Let's talk Browns and Steelers. I'm not making this up. These are two teams coming into their biggest matchup in what feels like a century. Baker and the Browns, that offense finally clicking, averaging more than 37 points a game during their 4-game win streak, while Big Ben and the Steelers have taken care of some weaker opponents en route to their 4-0 start. Michael Vick back with us. Okay, Mike, I got a question for you. Who do you trust more heading into this game, Baker Mayfield or Ben Roethlisberger?
First of all, I got to show some love to Baker Mayfield. He stepped up to the challenge the last couple weeks, and he's played some winning football. But in this game, I trust Big Ben a lot more than I trust Baker Mayfield. For one, he got 7,000 more snaps than Baker. And two, the Pittsburgh Steelers look at this game as a rivalry game, and they get up for the Cleveland Browns, you know, for the outside world who don't know anything about this little rivalry that takes place in the AFC North. This team really gets up for this game. I've been there. I've been in the locker room. I've game planned throughout the week. And for Ben, you know, it's for him, it's been like, you know, a kid being on punishment and looking out and seeing your friends running up and down the block and having a good time, and you can't go outside. And now he's been taken off of punishment. He's back out there with his friends having a good time playing ball. And he's really enjoying the game of football now, and it's showing. And, you know, spoke to Ben over the summer. He's just ecstatic to get back to playing ball and being out there and developing some young receivers and some young talent and a defense that's just a bullish defense that can do anything to the opposition. So I respect, you know, what Baker Mayfield has done and the Cleveland Browns as a whole, but I really trust Ben Roethlisberger being able to get it done in this AFC North matchup.
Mike, what did you say about that defense? Did you say bullish?
It's bullish.
You said bullish, right? Okay,
yes,
okay,
absolutely.
okay. So I wrote some notes down. On my flight back from New York this week, I wrote some notes down because Nick thinks that I like the Steelers and I picked them to make the Super Bowl because I'm from Pittsburgh.
You did.
East Liberty, Larmer Avenue. That's what he thinks. So let me read my notes so you understand why I believe in this team so much. And you talked about bullish. Similar identity as years past. Heavy blitz. Win with the front seven. Zone coverage. The front seven is awesome. Watt and Dupree really stout. They can stop any run game. What does the Cleveland Browns do well? Oh, they run the ball. These guys will stop that. You also look at the interior combo between Hayward and Tuitt. They're as good as any combo in the NFL right now. They blitz. They create one-on-one matchups. This is going to be a nightmare for the Cleveland Browns, a hot Cleveland Browns because of that front seven. This front seven reminds you back of those Steelers in the 90s. They're playing really good ball right now. They're playing together. And for that reason, I'm going with Big Ben. Not because Baker Mayfield, what he can or can't do, or Big Ben, what he can or can't do, but that front seven is going to present a lot of problems for a lot of people in that Cleveland Browns offense.
It's the best front seven in football, and it's not even close. I don't dispute that, Brandon. I do question how good the Steelers' offense can be and Big Ben can be against legitimate competition. The Browns have 4 wins this year. Every other team the Steelers have played this year combined have 3 wins. So to say this will be the Steelers' toughest game of the season is a massive understatement. This will be their toughest game of the season by a factor of 10. And I want to see how this offense looks against Myles Garrett. I want to see how this offense looks against Olivier Vernon and against a pretty good Browns front seven themselves. Not what the Steelers have on the front seven, but a pretty good Steelers front seven. Now, Jenna, to answer your question, which quarterback do I trust more? Baker Mayfield has not yet earned anybody's trust. You can't have 1 good year, 1 bad year, and then 5 games of a good year and say, okay, we fully trust you. But I would argue Big Ben had been prior to his injury, chipping away at the trust he had earned over his first ballot Hall of Fame career, leading the NFL in touchdowns over the 3 years combined prior to sorry, not in touchdowns, leading the NFL in interceptions over the 3 years leading up to his injury. Now, this year he has played very well despite not being able to connect on deep passes. But this is going to be his toughest test yet. So I know we always talk about the two quarterbacks. This is what, Brandon, it absolutely is going to be his toughest test of the season. Yes, tell me what was the tougher one. There's no question this is Big Ben's toughest test of the season.
They're going to protect Big Ben. That secondary is average at best. They're banged up. They got guys on IR. They got guys dealing with growing injuries that's still out there, which makes it even worse.
That's fine.
Big Ben, this is the week for Big Ben to connect on that deep ball that you say he's been struggling.
Brandon, and average secondary. Right, real quick, though, an average secondary will be the best secondary the Steelers have faced, okay? And we know how good the Browns' front is, and Myles Garrett is an absolute game wrecker. But Wilds, I think this is, and I know it's not sexy, I think this question is, which of these quarterbacks can play a clean game? Which of these guys can avoid the strip sack, can avoid the tip pass pick? But that's what it is. It's like an old school AFC North game. 17-16, something like that.
AFC
Who
North
can
is
avoid
back.
the big mistake? Right, and so I think Baker and the Browns are going to win. I think they're the better team.
Wilds?
And I think Baker's going to avoid the big mistake, Wilds.
Because I want to see Baker cook. I seen Kevin Stefanski letting Jarvis Landry throw the ball all over the field, and Odell gets to throw the ball. Can we let Baker throw the ball? Mike, there's 24 quarterbacks that have thrown for 1,000 yards this year, and Baker's not one of them. So I'm going to ask a question to you, Mike. And I know that it's winning football, and, we were going to be in the trenches, classic AFC North. Tell me what you want Baker, if the Browns win, what do you want Baker Mayfield's stat line to look like?
Well, I'll say this. I don't want to see him putting the ball in the air 40 times. I don't want to see that. And right before you ask me this question, I'm thinking, what are the keys to victory for the Cleveland Browns? The keys to victory in this game is going to be establish the run game. Use Kareem Hunt. Use him effectively. Use him correctly in the right situations and play action off of the run game. That's the best chance that they have. That limits Baker to having to put the ball in the air multiple times throughout the game, and just let him get into a consistent flow of the game. So, all the pressure is not on him. It's amazing what a run game will do for a quarterback. It allows you to just kind of relax. Everything is not on you. You don't have to get first down after first down. You get 4 here, 6 there, and you're third and shorts and 3rd and 3 to 5s, and it's just easier to manage. So, if he throw the ball between 20 and 30 times this game, and, completion percentage of around, 66%, I can see him having a chance. But, obviously they got to deal with a lot of guys on that Pittsburgh defense that's true players, especially in the trenches and on the outside. So it's going to be a difficult task for them, but they have to establish that run game, keep being off the field, and score some points.
Hey, Mike. Can you please tell Wiles, he tried to introduce this whole let Baker cook thing. Can you please tell him to let Baker bake, but don't put him on 300, just put him on like 100. Please tell him